Hi, everybody, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Zompumelelo Magagula, and this is All Things Entertainment. Thank you so much for stopping by. If it is your first time here, please do make sure that you press the subscribe button. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back, and I love you. So, guys, I'm here as the savior, coming through for all my people who don't have Showmax, but would really like to know what really happened on that tell all interview, Yaka Mohale, which is titled Mohale on the Record, which is officially on Showmax from today, Thursday, the 4th of August. So, if you've got Showmax, do make sure that we are your bega. And if you don't have Showmax, skawara, because I'm here to let you know what's going on. Firstly, I'd like to say Mohale looked beautiful. He looked handsome. He is clean. And also Aldrin looked beautiful. He looked handsome and he looked clean. And he conducted the interview with so much poise. And he was the perfect person to do this. I feel like, they kind of were feeding off each other's, energies. So the energy check vibe was there. 100% love it. The setup, loved it. It was nice, man. Also skin sabo, sun kissed, guys. Oh my goodness. And also, can I just say how messed up is this production team? Because the very same production team that did Mohale's interview is the very same production team that did Somiza's Living the Dream. So I'm just like, is this about securing the bag, or is this about, giving people a chance to tell their story? Because, like, one moment you're here shooting, um, living the dream with Somizi, and then Masaniza Okutu Somizi Utini, you were like, Mohale, Somizi Uti, do you want to sit down with us? But also, again, I don't feel like they're messed up because every person has got a right of reply, as it happens also in the newspapers, actually in the news. When I'm going to talk to someone and then they tell me their side of the story, I'm going to have to also call the other person and hear their side of the story. So it is what it is, man. Let's secure the bag. So, something that really caught my eye is that I'm not sure if it's a coincidence or what. Samizi is out on vacation with Mihlali and her boyfriend Leroy. I'm not sure if this is a way of him trying to distract himself from the noise. We don't know. But Tubalaning Chelete do whatever they want to do at their own times. But something else that okay, now let's get into the tell all interview, right? So it was trending on Twitter, obviously. I really did not go into the hashtag Yugo Begaguti in because I wanted to go and watch it for myself and see what really happened and have my own understanding and my own conclusions about the show. And what I liked is that Mohale took responsibility of his part of the mistakes during the relationship, and he agreed to being naive, and he was open about everything, man. He was so calm. He allowed himself to be, now I'm about to pronounce this word that I can't really pronounce, so I have to be slow. He allowed himself to be vulnerable. Yay, I said it. So yeah, he was cool, calm, and collected. He was not making noise. You know how defensive people like Ograsa and stuff. Mohale was so poised, man. He was so well spoken. I loved that. And I'm not sure what I really expected from this show, but I feel like it was not enough. Like, there's things that were left out. I am not sure what, but I feel like they could have gotten deeper. Aldrin could have asked more questions, because I feel like Mina, as someone who was watching, I was left with more questions than answers. Nothing really shocked me, nothing really surprised me. I feel like it was a repeat of what we already know. It was a repeat of the leaked audio, the audio that was leaked last year, if you do remember. So personally, I feel like, yeah, they could have asked more questions, and it is going to be nice to see the receipts of the things Mohale is talking about, saying that he went to a doctor. Maybe give us a doctor's notes, like give us receipts, something, because now you're saying, okay, this happened, but okay, how sure are we it happened? Show us pictures of the damaged car, because he says there's a car that was damaged and they're still fighting about that. Show us the car, show us how damaged it was. Did you go for scans when you felt like, okay, your ribs were broken and stuff? Did you go for scans? Show us pictures, something. But I also picked up that a relationship Somizi no Mohale had elements of control, abuse, and toxicity from the beginning. From the beginning, Mohale or Somizi could have made things better by walking away, but because they were in love and they believed in what they had, and they believed in what they were trying to build, they stayed together. So, like, the reason I'm saying there were elements of toxicity and them claiming that they were in love. If you were in love, why would you cheat 3 months into the relationship? Zhuang, why? 3 months into the relationship already when I started going cheater. So yeah. So obviously we all know that Somizi is 22 years older than Mohale, right? So Mohale revealed that Somizi had everything figured out, as we all know. He had everything figured out, career wise, financial wise, like everything was good. Everything was going on like perfectly for Somizi. And the only missing puzzle, as the Mohale Asho, was marriage. And then when he met Mohale, he felt like, okay, if I fill in this one little puzzle in my life would really be complete. Right? So Mohale says, yeah, I was young. I was really young and I was bound to believe everything that is said to me because I was naive at the time. So he says that Yena, he was not a fan of Usomizi when they met, because we also on Living the Dream, Somizi's family and friends saying that Mohale was just a fan, but he says, yeah, he was not a fan. So before I go in deeper, Mohale says the reason he decided to do this tell-all interview is that Yana Nosomizi had signed legal papers agreeing that no one would talk about the other in public platforms. But when Somizi decided to talk about him on his show, he was like, okay, fine. If you are talking about me, then you're leaving me with no choice but to also speak out and defend myself. And he says he was not watching Living the Dream with Somizi, but he was told by people, and also he was dragged on Twitter. So obviously he was bound to finally find out Uti. Every episode of Somizi had his name in it. So, like I was saying, he says that he was not a fan of Somizi. So, the only way we all know that they met with book signing Yaga Somizi, right? But he says that he went there because his cousin decided to surprise him with a book, Yaga Somizi. But my question is, why would your cousin buy you a Somizi book if you're not a Somizi fan? Make it make sense, but fine. He says the cousin bought him the book, and then the cousin also said there is a book signing that is happening today. Let us go. And then when they got there, Somizi kept on pointing at him with a pen. And then Mohale got a call. He went outside, and then Magabuya, the cousin, was already with Somizi, but Somizi refused to sign the book in absence of Mohale. So they had to wait for Mohale, and then I think when Mohale Abuya, the book was signed. And then after Lapo Somizi was in Mohale's DMs, he sent a pic mix of their pictures and said, this is how we are going to look on our wedding day. Right? They went for a date, and then they went to Swaziland, and then the rest is history. Right. Now, let us talk about Uvusi Nova. Remember, on Living the Dream with Somizi, Uvusi said he didn't like Mohale. He only tolerated Mohale because Somizi loved him so much. But Mohale reveals that he only met Uvusinova ngati 3 times when Uvusinova came into Somizi's house. Only 3 times. And that was 3 years after Mohale has been with Usomizi. So I don't understand why Uvusi would say that, but also I don't know how true isn't as sure Mohale. And then Mohale revealed that it's shocking Oguti Vusi would say he didn't like him when Vusi would be the one to intervene when Mohale and Samizi had fights. He says that Vusi would call him and ask him to fix things with Samizi. And also Uvusi was the one phambili aqula ashine steps somshado jiki jiki. Oh, I didn't like Mohale, but okay, would do anything to protect and support our friends. And then now let's talk about the trip they took to Paris, where Samizi went on one knee to engage Mohale. So what happened in Paris? Mohale says they went there and then they had fun and then things happened. Obviously, that didn't make him happy. Like Somizi, being so affectionate and all touchy with the guy they met there. Apparently, this guy, no Somizi, the guy's name is Orlando. We all saw him on Living the Dream with Somizi. So Uti U Mohale, Somizi and this guy Bebafunana, and they met for the first time on that trip. Why would you want to go and meet with your crush or with whoever you're flirting with on social media when you are with your boyfriend or your soon to be fiance? Make it make sense to me. And Mohale says that Usomizi introduced him to Orlando as his friend, and at that time they were dating. And then a day after getting engaged, Somizi asked Mohale for a threesome with the very same guy, Orlando. Hey, ziningi indawo zabantu. And then uthi uMohale uSomizi wavuma ke ukuthi yena no Orlando wanted each other, but then they opted to become friends since they can't have anything romantic, since Somizi was already with Mohale. And Orlando mentioned something when they told him that they were engaged, mentioned something in passing or as a joke that so he said to Somizi, so are you cheating on me now? And Somizi also said jokingly, no, our marriage, or he said our marriage is just an arrangement. So I'm just wondering how true was that. And also, before all those things, before Paris and everything, Mohale says that he actually didn't want his relationship with Somizi to be public. He wanted everything to be private, but Somizi was the one who insisted that they post pictures of them together. And then Mohale Uti Somizi insisted, and Mohale ended up doing it. So now I'm just asking myself, Uti, why was Somizi giving off vibes and energies of being controlling Gumohale? But also, it's none of my business because I was not there. And then Mohale says that now fast forward to them preparing the wedding, right? Because remember, they went to Paris and then Somizi, engaged Mohale. Mohale says that he had mixed emotions about preparing for the wedding simply because it happened very fast, and then a lot of things happened prior the wedding, and then also there were broken promises. When asked Uguti, again, if that's how you felt, why did you continue? And he says that he was in love and wanted to give, their love a chance. I am just like, okay, Mohale, why would you ignore so many red flags? Red flags were just here, flashing in front of your eyes, and you decided to ignore them. Was it because of the status? Was it because of the money? Was it because of the fame that came with everything? Or was it because, okay, now I am in and angazi ukuthi ngizophuma kanjani? But then again, it's also none of my business. Now, let us talk about the assault. Mohale Utsi, the first time the assault happened, Somizi was angry that Mohale went to work in Durban, and then when he came back, he found Usomizi sitting on a couch. And Somizi asked Mohale Uguti, "Ubuyaphi mfethu?" And then when Mohale said, how are you asking me when you know exactly where I was? Somizi said that Mohale is lying. So Mohale, the way he tells the story, ngati ushiye Usomizi downstairs and then he went upstairs, maybe go back on my bag or to change. And while he was still doing that, Usomizi came upstairs, and with him he had a bottle of champagne, and he kept on spilling the champagne on Mohale. That's what Mohale says. And then Utu Mohale, after Lapo, Somizi started beating him up. Uti Usomizi, while he was doing that, he said to him he wanted to mess up the beautiful face because the beautiful face was what was messing things up for him. So my thing is, why would you want to have a relationship with a pretty person and then chigi chigi, you want to be insecure about the person being outside the house without you? Like what the fuck? Okay. Now moving on. Umohalo uti Usomizi started ukumshaya and then he beat him on the ribs and the legs. And all Mohalo could do was cover his face because the shoes Somizi was wearing had a very big potential of messing up Mohale's face. That's what Mohale says. So Mohale says he could not walk because he felt like, his I think part of the body when it was messed up because of how Usomizi I'm shying a corner. He says he crawled downstairs and then Magafika downstairs he took his car keys and ran out. So now my question is, you could not walk, you felt like upugile. Chigi chigi, when I'm downstairs, so muntu was ukijima, uye motoni yako, and now you wanna drive out. Okay, and then he says as he was trying to drive out, Usomizi blocked, in Lela with his car. I am still stuck on running out, not being able to walk, ribs and legs being broken. But hey, Buffett, it's it is what it is. And yeah, Mohale also revealed that Somizi did not want him to work in the industry because Utiana he did not want to marry someone who was in the industry. Right? And then Mohale also revealed that former friend Yagasomizi Tami knew about the abuse because Tami was the one who called Mohale when he vanished because Usomizi kept on looking for him, but Tami was the one who called Mohale and then begged him to go back to the house and also, apologized on behalf of Usomizi. So I'm asking myself that, besides Utami, who else knew about the abuse? Because it can't be only one person. And I remember when one of Somizi's friends asked him on the show, but did you beat him up? Usomiz did not say yes or no. He tried, justifying his actions. So I am thinking, Oguti, maybe it could have happened, because Somizi said it's all about yini ekhosa ukuthi react kanjalo. The question is umshayile na? Yebo noma cha? Yabon? So now when uMohale was asked ukuthi why angavulanga case, icala against Usomizi, he says he didn't open a case because he believed that Somizi would change. He believed that Somizi would change. And you know what? We've all been in situations where even if bonga shaywa corner, but there's certain things, there's certain elements about your partner where you feel like, okay, it's in bigger than this one part, eventually the person will change. And we should also remember that Somizi and Mohale, their relationship happened really fast. So obviously there would be that thing ati uzoshintsha fine, so abantu asifana omunye angathi yo, you know what, there's a red flags and I'm running, but omunye would decide to say let me give this person a chance. And Mohale says he decided to give their relationship a chance, and he also mentioned that it was not gonna be easy. Pisa Usomizi, because who are you to get into a police station and say Uzovulela Usomizi mhlongo eqala? First of all, his status and his stature alone speak for him, alone and an advantage for him. I feel like it's what's happening between Stelo and Lempisane right now. But okay. Also, another thing that I wanted to touch on was the fact that Mohale revealed that Usomizi convinced him to resign from his work, and he also wanted Mohale to be a house husband, and he also went as far as asking Titi to speak to the Fergusons not to hire Mohale. And this makes me wonder, if it was that easy for Somizi to influence the Fergusons not to hire Mohale, how easy it is for Usomizi and other people in the industry to close doors for people they do not like. And how easy influenced are the Fergusons and other people who own production houses that just a random person would come, no, fine, not a random person, that a person would come to you and say don't hire that person, and then you also don't hire them in your own company. Like, please make it make sense. And I don't understand why Somizi would also complain that, yeah, he did not bring anything to the table. Why would you want a person to resign from where they work to be your handbag to travel with you, and then you close eminye iminyango yokuthi asebenze loyo muntu loyo, and then you again become the very same person who comes and complains that the person brings nothing to the table? What am I going to bring to the table if you don't want me to work? Yakon? Now let's move on. Let's talk about the divorce. Mohale says he never wanted 50% of anything that belonged to Somizi. He says he wanted his own assets, his clothes, the wedding money, because we know that they did a wedding special for Showmax and they were paid for that. That's what Mohale wanted because that belonged to the both of them. And he says he also wanted the car that Somizi vandalized when he drove him off the road with his G-Wagon. And this is the car I'm saying. Show us the pictures. Let us see how the car was damaged, which car is damaged. But if you're just going to say my car was damaged, it's kombise and it's kombise. Yeah. So Uti Umahale, he did not want 50% of anything. Instead, Somizi was the one who suggested that they divide the estate. So now Angsa understand who's lying and who's telling the truth. I don't think I'd be married to a wealthy person and then when I divorce, nyingafune nixi. I never. When we divorce, I want everything. I want 50% of everything. And because now you're going to introduce me to a lifestyle and then I don't want it. So yeah, this one I'm not really sure where I stand with it. But then yeah, that's that. That's all that I could gather, guys. I don't want to tell you guys everything, because maybe some of you are still going to watch. But then I'm just summarizing for all those who won't, have the means of watching this tell all interview. So how it ended is that Mohale is securing a bag and he is soon going to be releasing his own skincare range, which I am excited about. Happy for him. He says he's securing the bag left, right, and center. He's booked and busy and he is traveling, of course. And he still believes in love. He says if he were to meet a person that he loves and the person loves him back, he wouldn't mind having a round two, Yomshado. All right, so guys, now that we know both the sides of the story, it's up to you, to choose who you want to believe. And also, believing one person does not mean that you hate the other person. And also, you are not obliged, you're not forced to believe anyone. If you don't want to believe anyone, it's fine. Don't want to believe anyone, because at the end of the day, you don't have to pick sides. Ngoba, you were not there. I was not there. You were not there. And there's Mohale's side, there's Somizi's side, and there's also the truth. That is all I am going to say. Somizi told his side of the story on Living the Dream with Somizi. Mohale told his side of the story on Mohale on the record. And that's all we have. So right now, okay? And that's all I had for you. My name is Mpumelelo Makakula. This is All Things Entertainment. And I will see you guys when I have another video. Kulungile. Bye.